Hey folks, welcome to the show. Let's compare the Oilers and Dallas Stars facing off in the Western Conference Finals. I've seen a lot of people, both serious and jokingly, saying the Stars are going to win the series. I have no issue with people saying the Stars are going to win the series, even as an Oilers fan. I understand it. I have a great respect and love for a lot of the Dallas Stars players and the team and the construction. I'd actually really like seeing that team win the Cup. But it's going to be a lot closer than you think. Comparing these stats, you're seeing a lot more orange than green because the Oilers, in a lot of the stats that I feel are important, or especially important, the Oilers have been better at. Granted, they've been playing two different teams. The Oilers played the Kings and the Vancouver Canucks. The Kings are a respectable opponent, but seemingly less and less every year. Canucks, one of the best teams in the regular season, and good in the playoffs too. However, the Dallas Stars are coming off of two very tough opponents as well, including the Colorado Avalanche, who have similar strengths as the Oilers. I'm not going to say similar game, but similar strengths, because it's not exactly the same. What I will say for the Oilers is it's interesting. The last 2 years, the Stanley Cup Finals have been the same, as in the team that eliminates the Oilers goes on to beat a Florida team in the finals. Meaning, if the Stars beat the Oilers this year and beat the Panthers in the finals, that'd be 3 straight years where a team beats the Oilers, goes on to win the Cup against the Florida team, which I wouldn't mind. I'd obviously prefer the Oilers going on and win it all, but I like the Stars quite a bit. So those two teams that beat the Oilers in the last 2 years, like I said, that went on to win the Cup. That is something to be said about the Oilers, is they tend to lose to the team that goes on to win it all. But those two teams that went on to win it all in those last 2 years both got eliminated this year to the Dallas Stars, being the Vegas Golden Knights in round 1 and Colorado Avalanche in round 2. So obviously when you make it to round 3, both teams are going to be in form, and the Dallas Stars are absolutely in form. Historically, Pete DeBoer has been very good at getting his teams to the conference finals and very bad at winning in the conference finals and then getting back to the conference finals, resulting in changes. He's done that with the Sharks and the Golden Knights, and now he's doing it with the Stars, hopefully for his sake and the state of Texas, that that trend of his ends. But hopefully for me, it continues. So let's compare the numbers, because again, it is going to be a lot closer than people think. And that's not me disrespecting the Stars in any way. That's just me saying I don't need to be an Oilers fan to say the Oilers are very good and are in very good form. So the Oilers have needed one less game than the Stars to get here. Thanks, because they had to play the Kings instead of the Golden Knights. The Oilers have been scoring a ton these playoffs, nearly 4 goals a game compared to the Stars, just under 3 goals a game. The Stars have allowed less goals against, though. That more has to do with goaltending, which obviously is a huge part of any playoff team. And the Oilers' goaltending has been inconsistent from Skinner. We've seen some really great games where you're convinced, like, okay, we can do it this year. He's in form, and then he'll have another game like a week later, and you're just like, oh, great, here we go again. The Stars, Ottinger, who has had an inconsistent regular season, has been a consistent factor for the Dallas Stars. He was very good in round 2, and he'll have to remain very good against one of the best offenses in the league, arguably the best offense in the league, not just in the regular season, but in the postseason. The Oilers have also been better at controlling shots. They usually get they average 5.33 shots more than their opponents per game, whereas the Dallas Stars average almost 2 more shots than their opponents per game, which is respectable. It's good. But the difference that the Oilers are able to control the game is much better. And it's not just that the Oilers shoot more, but they convert more. They have a better shooting percentage at nearly 13%. But like I said, you look at opponents' shooting percentage, the Dallas Stars have kept their opponents well below 9%, mainly because of Ottinger. Whereas the Oilers have had troubles there. When they make a mistake, it's usually a high-quality mistake, or Skinner doesn't make the save. Speaking of high quality and high dangers, they're both the Oilers and Dallas Stars have similar effectiveness in both getting into high danger zones on offense and preventing other teams from getting into their own high danger zones. When it comes to hitting, The Oilers have been the better hitting team this series. The Stars were not a good hitting team against the Avalanche, but they went on to win because they were better than the Avalanche in a lot of other ways that mattered more, like scoring. But the Stars have been a great blocking team, one of the better blocking teams of the playoffs, maybe the best. I haven't compared all the numbers because once a team's eliminated, I kind of just don't care at that point. Stars get nearly 22 blocks a game. The Stars also win a lot on the face-off, which the Oilers have not been doing. The Oilers, despite coming into the postseason as one of the best face-off teams in the league, have been very subpar in the face-off circle, mostly due to the Vancouver Canucks series where the Canucks won in the face-off circle, I think all 7 games, more than the Oilers, resulting in the Oilers' face-off win percentage being below 47%, which is not okay. Though, when you look at that, you got to say, well, that's impressive that they still managed to outshoot their opponents by over 5 shots per game when they're losing that many face-offs. Special teams has been the Oilers. I don't want to say bread and butter because they have been very good 5-on-5, but special teams has won them some games, and it has been their best part. There's no shame in winning by your best strength, which does happen to be the Oilers' special teams, not just their power play, where they score almost twice as many power play goals per game than the Dallas Stars, while also getting more opportunities and converting at a better rate. But their penalty kill has been amazing, despite taking nearly 3 having 3 penalty kill opportunities per game. They convert at the second best rate in the playoffs, with 91.4% of the penalty kills they have being successful. Very different from the Stars, who are sitting at 69.2%. Granted, the Stars did just play the Colorado Avalanche, a great power play team, but the Stars really got to bump that number up and step up on the penalty kill if they want to beat the Oilers. Of course, power play and penalty kill isn't all parts of the game. The Stars absolutely have their strengths. Not all these numbers are orange. The Stars are, like I said, coming off of playing the Colorado Avalanche, who do play a similar game. Not exactly the same game as the Oilers, but a similar game, and have similar strengths in their offense and their high scoring talent. The difference is the Oilers are coming off of playing a very controlling team. I wouldn't call the Canucks, well, I would call the Canucks super defensive. I wouldn't call the Stars super defensive. Like, the Stars and the Canucks are not similar teams, but they both play a very controlled game. And the Oilers, even when they were controlled, were able to win in games that they were being controlled in. I was going to say unlike the Stars, but no, they have won as well, and they can win in the Oilers' fashion. The Stars, unlike what they have been historically, are a very fast team, and they have a very hot goalie, Jake Ottinger, in the net, so they can play the Oilers' style. But if you think the Oilers can't play the Stars' style, they can. They obviously would rather not, but they can. More of that has to hinge on Skinner, and we've seen Skinner do very well. He had a 33 save shutout against the Kings when the Oilers were just terrible that day, and they won because of Stuart Skinner, almost alone because of Stuart Skinner. But then we've also seen what Stuart Skinner did against the Canucks, which was not very much. So a lot of that, obviously, goaltending is huge for any team, and that's kind of stating the obvious. But that's always been the case for the Oilers. I don't think there's a worry about the Oilers' offense. I don't think there's a worry about the Oilers' defense. I don't think there's a worry about the Oilers' special teams. It's just worry about goaltending. If the Stars can really break down Skinner and Picard, if that becomes the case too, it's the Stars series. And I'm not saying the Stars can't. I fully respect the Stars. I would not be surprised if they go on to win the series. And most people would agree. But my personal opinion is the Oilers. Part of that was because before I was making this, is like, well, I gotta side with the Oilers. I mean, coming into making this video, I was thinking Stars realistically, but my preseason prediction was the Oilers. So at this point, I'm like, I might as well just stick with the Oilers at this point. And I was trying to think of all the ways where the Oilers could win, and then I started putting the stats together and comparing them. And as you can see, there's a lot more orange here than green. And yes, the two teams were playing different opponents, so the stats are going to be skewed. But I start thinking, actually, the Oilers could win. I'm starting to say realistically, I would say that, I mean, realistically, any team can win, but realistically, I'm thinking my head, not just my heart, but my head is saying the Oilers too. And maybe my heart is just taking over, so I could be wrong. But yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be done in 4 or 5 games. I think it'll go. I think it'll go to 7. Yeah, I don't want to go to 7 again, but it could go to 7. Um, I've had my. I don't like watching my own teams in Game 7. Not because I distrust them. It's just you know how it is. But yeah, I think it'll go to 7 if the Oilers win, which I do think they will. If the Stars take over, I think they'll win in 6. Again, I don't think they'll just take over. A lot of people are joking the Stars are just going to take over. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, so that's the video. There's been lots of talk about whether Canadians should support the Oilers as Canada's team. I don't think you need to. It may be because I'm half American, but I was at a point where it's like, if the Canucks are the only Canadian team, I'm not cheering for them. I'm not cheering for the Leafs or the Senators or the Jets. I like the Jets, but I can't stand Jesse Pollock. Calgary? I could do Calgary, actually. It'd be very dependent on the scenario. And I did actually enjoy the Montreal Canadiens run to the Cup Finals a while ago, but part of that was because I didn't expect them to win, so maybe that. I don't know. So I don't expect Canadian fans to cheer for the Oilers. I wouldn't cheer for their team, so I'm not going to ask them to cheer for my team. If they want to see the Cup return to Canada, yeah, the Oilers are your best bet. They always were in the playoffs, in my opinion, and now they are officially as the last Canadian team. But anyways, that's up to you if you're a Canadian fan. If you're an American fan, maybe you probably don't care. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you later. I will do a review for the Stars Oilers Game 1, as I always do. It just might come out later because I'm going to be busy tomorrow morning. And even though this game is a bit earlier, I don't know if it's wise for me to stay up and do a video. So I don't know if it'll come tomorrow evening or tonight. We'll see. But these videos I'm doing right now are usually the good number of videos. So I'm more worried about these videos being out on time than all these reviews. But anyways, whether you're watching this one, those ones, or all of them, thank you so much. Even if this is your first video, thank you so much as well. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, especially if you're an Oilers fan, and not as especially if you're cheering for the Stars. But hey, I'm not like hating on the DAL Stars. I will cheer for the Stars if they beat the Oilers. And that's not me hating on the Panthers or Rangers. It's just a matter of preference. Anyways, I will see you soon.